You've probably heard it 100 times. Eat more nuts, they're good for your heart. Keto-friendly. Rich in healthy fats. Sounds like smart advice, right? But what if I told you that some of the very same nuts being promoted as superfoods for older adults might actually be chipping away at your strength, your memory, and your independence, one handful at a time? That's not a scare tactic. It's reality. In fact, nearly 70% of seniors regularly eat nuts that quietly fuel inflammation, accelerate muscle loss, and interfere with common medications, all without showing obvious symptoms until the damage is already done. You feel a little more tired, your knees ache a bit more, stairs seem steeper. And you think, that's just aging. But what if it isn't? What if the real culprit is sitting in your snack drawer right now, labeled as heart healthy, but acting more like a slow, silent drain on your well-being? In today's video, we're going to uncover 5 nuts that may be harming your health after 60, and more importantly, I'll show you the 5 best nuts to eat instead. The ones that help protect your brain, strengthen your muscles, and keep your body energized and mobile as you age. If you're over 60 or care for someone who is, this is the kind of information that could make a real difference. So stick with me. Your body will thank you for it. Now, before we get into the list of harmful nuts, let's take a quick moment to understand something important. As we age, our bodies go through a number of changes, and some of them happen quietly, behind the scenes. Your liver, for example, doesn't detoxify as efficiently as it did in your 30s or 40s. Your kidneys may clear toxins more slowly. Even your digestive enzymes decline, making it harder to absorb nutrients or break down certain foods properly. And that's not all. Your muscles become more sensitive to inflammation, your bones more fragile to calcium loss. And your medications? They don't always work the same way anymore, especially when the foods you eat start interfering without you even knowing it. Think of your body like an older water filter. It still works, it still keeps you safe, but it needs a little more care and a little less debris running through it. That's why something as small as the wrong type of nut, eaten every day, can quietly build up stress in your system over time. One day it's just a little joint stiffness. Next month it's swelling in the ankles. Then your cholesterol starts creeping up, and you have no idea it's tied to your snacks. This doesn't mean you need to fear food, not at all. It simply means that the same food can have a very different effect depending on your age, your metabolism, and your medication. That's why I created this list, to help you make smarter choices with confidence. Now that you know the why, let's dive into the what. Starting with the first nut on our list, bitter almonds. And if you've never heard of them before, consider yourself lucky. Now, most people are familiar with regular almonds. They're praised as heart-healthy, rich in magnesium, and packed with good fats. And that's true for sweet almonds. But bitter almonds? That's a completely different story. These are not your everyday snack. In fact, they're more like a hidden danger, especially for older adults. Here's why. Bitter almonds contain a natural compound called amygdalin. When digested, amygdalin converts into cyanide. Yes, cyanide, the same toxic substance that interferes with your body's ability to use oxygen. And that's where the real problem begins. Just 4 to 5 raw bitter almonds can cause symptoms like lightheadedness, nausea, or confusion. Eat more than 10, and it can become a medical emergency, especially if you're over 60. Why is age a factor? Because as we get older, our liver and kidneys don't process toxins as efficiently, so even a small amount of cyanide can have a much stronger effect on a senior than on a younger person. To make matters worse, bitter almonds are sometimes sold under misleading names, like apricot kernels or natural detox seeds. You'll see them in certain health food shops or online, marketed with phrases like supports cleansing or natural healing. But let me be clear, There's nothing cleansing about cyanide. And here's another issue. Bitter almonds can be made safe if they're cooked or processed properly. Heat destroys most of the amygdalin, but some so-called raw health diets still encourage eating them raw, which is extremely risky, especially for seniors. If you want to stay sharp, mobile, and independent as you age, this is one nut you should absolutely avoid. Most people don't realize there are two types of almonds, and only one of them is truly safe to eat. Sweet almonds, the kind you'll find in your local grocery store, are soft, slightly sweet, and perfectly safe. They're the ones used to make almond milk, almond flour, and the crunchy snacks we all know. But bitter almonds are a different story. These look similar, but they contain a compound called amygdalin, which turns into cyanide when digested. Just a few raw bitter almonds can cause nausea, dizziness, or even more serious symptoms, especially in older adults with slower detox systems. They're not sold widely for eating, but can sometimes show up labeled as apricot kernels or detox seeds. The biggest danger? Once the shell is removed, you can't tell the difference by sight alone. That's why it's so important to buy almonds only from trusted sources, and always look for labels that clearly say sweet almonds. One small mistake could have serious consequences. Number 2 on our list is peanuts. Now I know what you're thinking. Really? Peanuts? They're everywhere. In trail mix, in protein bars, in peanut butter, even in hospital snack trays. They're budget-friendly, filling, and familiar. For many older adults, peanuts are a daily go-to. But here's the thing. Peanuts aren't actually nuts at all. They belong to the legume family, and they grow underground, which exposes them to something most people never think about: mold. And not just any mold. We're talking about a toxin-producing kind called aflatoxin. Aflatoxins are invisible, tasteless, and dangerous. They've been linked to liver stress, weakened immune response, and even increased cancer risk over time. And as you age, your liver becomes less efficient at clearing these kinds of toxins out of your system. That means even small, repeated exposures, like a spoonful of peanut butter each day, can silently build up in your body. You might not feel it right away, but maybe your energy drops, maybe your digestion slows, maybe you start waking up with unexplained fatigue. And that's just one side of the story. Peanuts are also high in omega-6 fatty acids. Now, omega-6 isn't bad on its own, your body needs a little, but most of us are already eating far too much omega-6 and not nearly enough omega-3. And when that ratio tips too far out of balance, you get chronic inflammation, the kind that leads to joint pain, poor circulation, memory fog, and even mood swings. But perhaps the most overlooked risk, especially for seniors, is that peanuts contain vitamin K. If you're taking blood thinners like warfarin or similar medications, vitamin K can reduce their effectiveness. That means your carefully adjusted medication dose might not be doing its job, and you wouldn't even know it until something goes wrong. And don't be fooled by peanut butter either. Most commercial brands are packed with added sugar, salt, and hydrogenated oils. A trio that quietly pushes your blood pressure up, increases your heart risk, and leaves your arteries working overtime. So even though peanuts might seem harmless, even helpful, they're actually working against you in 3 major ways. They stress your liver with aflatoxins, they disrupt your fat balance and fuel inflammation, and they can interfere with important medications. If you're over 60, those aren't small issues. They're risks that stack up silently, day after day. Does that mean you can never eat peanuts again? Not necessarily. Peanuts are also high in omega-6 fatty acids. Now, omega-6 isn't bad on its own. Your body needs a little. But most of us are already eating far too much omega-6 and not nearly enough omega-3. And when that ratio tips too far out of balance, you get chronic inflammation. The kind that leads to joint pain, poor circulation, memory fog, and even mood swings. But perhaps the most overlooked risk, especially for seniors, is that peanuts contain vitamin K. If you're taking blood thinners like warfarin or similar medications, vitamin K can reduce their effectiveness. That means your carefully adjusted medication dose might not be doing its job, and you wouldn't even know it until something goes wrong. And don't be fooled by peanut butter either. Most commercial brands are packed with added sugar, salt, and hydrogenated oils, a trio that quietly pushes your blood pressure up, increases your heart risk, and leaves your arteries working overtime. So even though peanuts might seem harmless, even helpful, they're actually working against you in three major ways. They stress your liver with aflatoxins, they disrupt your fat balance and fuel inflammation, and they can interfere with important medications. If you're over 60, those aren't small issues. They're risks that stack up silently day after day. Does that mean you can never eat peanuts again? Not necessarily, but it does mean you need to be mindful. Choose organic if you can. Limit your intake. And definitely talk to your doctor if you're on blood thinners. Number 3 on our list is macadamia nuts. They're rich, they're buttery. And let's be honest, they feel like a luxury. You'll find them in premium trail mixes, fancy chocolate bars, even gourmet cookies. But for older adults, macadamia nuts might not be doing your body the favor you think they are. Here's why. Macadamia nuts are extremely high in fat. About 80% of their calories come from fat. Now yes, some of that fat is monounsaturated, which can be heart-friendly in moderation. But what they lack is just as important as what they contain. They're very low in protein and fiber, two nutrients that are essential for maintaining muscle strength and healthy digestion, especially after 60. That means if you regularly snack on macadamias, you're filling up on calories that don't actually support your muscles or your metabolism. Your body needs protein to rebuild muscle. It needs fiber to keep your digestion moving. Without those, you may notice weaker legs, longer recovery time after activity, gradual loss of strength, even if you're eating what feels like healthy food. And because macadamias are so calorie-dense and easy to overeat, weight gain can sneak up on you, especially if your daily activity has slowed down with age. Now let's add another layer to the problem. Most store-bought macadamias are roasted in inflammatory oils, like vegetable or soybean oil, and then dusted with salt. These oils, especially when heated, promote systemic inflammation. Add in the sodium, and you've got a combo that tightens your blood vessels, worsens joint stiffness, and increases your risk of high blood pressure. So even though macadamia nuts are marketed as gourmet and heart-healthy, the truth is, they're more like empty luxury calories. And for a senior trying to protect strength, balance, and heart health, that kind of indulgence comes at a price. Now, I'm not saying you can never enjoy a macadamia cookie again, but if you're reaching for these nuts daily as a source of nutrition, it may be time to rethink. Number 4 on our list is pine nuts. They're tiny, delicate. You've probably seen them sprinkled over salads or blended into pesto, and on the surface they seem harmless, even elegant. But for seniors, pine nuts come with a handful of hidden risks that most people, including many doctors, don't even think to mention. The biggest concern is how they can quietly interfere with common medications. Pine nuts contain a compound called pinolenic acid, and while it's natural, research has shown that it can alter how the liver processes certain drugs. That includes medications for blood pressure, cholesterol, and circulation. 3 categories of prescriptions that many older adults rely on every single day. When these interactions happen, you might not feel anything right away. But over time, they can lead to unexpected spikes in blood pressure, irregular heart rhythms, or reduced effectiveness of your treatment. And because pine nuts aren't typically flagged as a problem food, it's easy to overlook them as a potential culprit. There's also something called pine mouth. It's a strange and little-known condition where after eating pine nuts, people report a persistent metallic or bitter taste in their mouth. It can last for days or even weeks. For seniors who are already dealing with appetite loss or taste changes, this side effect can make meals unappealing and lead to reduced food intake and unintentional weight loss. And that's not all. Pine nuts are rich in polyunsaturated fats, which oxidize quickly when exposed to heat or air. Once oxidized, these fats release compounds that accelerate brain aging, inflame the joints, and clog the arteries, especially in older adults whose natural antioxidant defenses may already be declining. The older the nuts are, the worse this effect becomes. Finally, their size and texture present a physical risk. Pine nuts are small, smooth, and easy to swallow without chewing, making them a choking hazard for anyone with dry mouth or reduced chewing strength, which are both common issues as we age. So even though pine nuts may look like a fancy garnish, they come with a set of risks that most seniors can't afford to ignore. From medication interference to taste disturbances and inflammation, they pack more punch than their size suggests. Coming up next is nut number 5, and while it's creamy, filling, and often marketed as heart-healthy, it might be slowly weakening the very foundation of your body, your bones. Let's talk about cashews. Creamy, buttery, and incredibly satisfying, cashews are often seen as the comfort food of the nut world. They're in snack packs, vegan cheese alternatives, and even heart-healthy trail mixes. But for seniors, cashews can quietly work against one of the most important pillars of aging well, bone strength. What most people don't realize is that cashews are high in oxalates, natural compounds that bind to calcium in your gut. When oxalates latch onto calcium, they prevent your body from absorbing it properly. And without enough absorbable calcium, your bones slowly become more brittle over time. This becomes especially dangerous after 60, when bone density naturally declines and the risk of fractures climbs higher. What seems like a harmless snack could be contributing to weaker bones, poor balance, and longer recovery times after even a minor fall. But bone health isn't the only concern. Cashews also have a relatively high carbohydrate content compared to most nuts. That means they can cause blood sugar spikes, particularly in seniors managing prediabetes or diabetes. These spikes damage the small blood vessels in your legs and feet, worsen circulation, and slow down healing from cuts or injuries. Over time, this can lead to numbness, fatigue, and increased risk of infection. And then there's the issue of kidney health. Those same oxalates that block calcium can also crystallize in your kidneys, especially if you're not drinking enough water, a problem that's more common among older adults who may not feel thirst as strongly. Over time, this increases the risk of kidney stones, which are not only painful but can also complicate other conditions like high blood pressure. There's also a physical side to cashews that most people overlook. Their dense, sticky texture makes them harder to chew, particularly for seniors with dry mouth, missing teeth, or reduced chewing strength. That makes them a potential choking hazard if not eaten carefully. So while cashews might seem like a luxurious, guilt-free snack, they may quietly be contributing to problems that take years to show up: bone loss, kidney stress, nerve damage, and blood sugar instability. If you truly want to eat for strength and independence as you age, this is one nut worth crossing off your regular rotation. But don't worry, there's good news ahead. In the next section, we'll shift gears and explore the nuts that actually protect your bones, fuel your brain, and help keep your muscles strong well into your 70s and beyond. If you're still watching, thank you. That means you care about what goes into your body and how it affects your strength, your memory, and your independence. And if any of these nuts so far have surprised you, or maybe made you rethink your snack drawer, let us know in the comments. What's one nut you've been eating regularly, or one you're thinking of cutting out? Your comment could be exactly what someone else needs to hear to make a healthier choice too. Don't forget to tap the like button and hit subscribe if you haven't already. It's a small action that helps us bring more health-focused content to people who need it most. Now let's shift gears. Because not all nuts are harmful. In fact, the next 5 might just be the secret to sharper thinking, stronger muscles, and a healthier heart as you age. Let's start with the first one, chestnuts. Unlike most nuts, chestnuts are naturally low in fat and much higher in complex carbohydrates and fiber. And that's a good thing, especially for older adults who need long-lasting energy without the extra calories or heaviness. While almonds and walnuts often get the spotlight for heart health, chestnuts quietly deliver a different kind of support. They provide slow, steady fuel to keep your body going throughout the day, without spiking your blood sugar or leaving you drained a few hours later. One thing that makes chestnuts really special is their vitamin C content. Yes, you heard that right, vitamin C, in a nut. That's incredibly rare. Most nuts have none at all. But chestnuts contain a solid dose, which helps your body build collagen, support your immune system, and reduce inflammation, especially in the joints and muscles. They also contain vitamin E and antioxidants that protect your tissues from oxidative damage, the kind that slowly wears down your strength and mobility over time. And when it comes to digestion, the fiber in chestnuts helps keep things moving, gently but consistently. That means less bloating, more regularity, and a happier gut. And let's be honest, good digestion is one of those things you don't appreciate until it's gone. In one study, chestnut consumption was linked to lower LDL cholesterol and better blood sugar control, making them a smart choice for people looking to support heart health and metabolism at the same time. Plus, they're surprisingly versatile. You can roast them and eat them warm on a chilly morning. Grind them into flour for gluten-free baking. Chop them into grain bowls or mix into rice dishes for an earthy, satisfying bite. Just be sure to store them in an airtight container in the fridge. They're more perishable than other nuts. But that's a small price to pay for a nut that delivers this kind of nourishment. Personally, I love roasting mine with a little cinnamon and tossing them into oatmeal. It's comforting, energizing, and surprisingly filling. If you've never given chestnuts a real try, this might be the perfect time. Number 2 on our list is one you've probably had sitting in your pantry already, almonds. But here's the thing. Most people don't realize just how powerful these little nuts are, especially when it comes to aging well. Almonds are often seen as a simple snack, something you toss into a bag of trail mix or grab by the handful on the go. But beneath that crunchy exterior is a nutritional profile perfectly suited for older adults who want to stay strong, mobile, and sharp. First, let's talk bones. After 60, bone loss becomes a real concern. Fragility fractures and declining balance can quietly creep in. Almonds happen to be one of the few nuts rich in both calcium and magnesium, 2 nutrients that work together to keep your bones dense and your posture strong. And unlike calcium supplements that often end up in the arteries, the calcium in almonds is paired naturally with magnesium, helping your body deliver it where it's needed most, into the bones. But the benefits don't stop there. Almonds are also packed with plant-based protein and heart-healthy fats, both of which help maintain muscle mass as you age. And that's key. Because losing muscle doesn't just make you feel weak. It increases your risk of falls, slows your recovery from injury, and even affects your metabolism and mental health. Many seniors also struggle with bloating, irregularity, or constipation. The fiber in almonds, especially when you eat them with the skin on, helps support smoother digestion and better nutrient absorption. That means more energy, better appetite, and less discomfort after meals. What's more, almonds contain antioxidants in their brown skin, specifically flavonoids, that help protect your brain cells from age-related decline. In fact, studies have shown that older adults who eat almonds regularly tend to perform better on memory and physical function tests. So, while they might seem like a simple snack, almonds are doing a lot of heavy lifting behind the scenes. They're strengthening your bones, preserving your muscles, supporting your gut, and protecting your memory, all in one small handful. To get the most out of them, go for unsalted, unroasted almonds with the skin on. Enjoy them whole, add them to your morning oatmeal, or blend them into a smoothie for a nutritious boost. Now let's move to number 3 on our list, walnuts. You've probably heard people call them brain food, and there's a good reason for that. Just take a look at one. Its shape looks like a tiny brain, and interestingly, that visual isn't far off from its actual function. Walnuts are one of the best nuts you can eat to support your brain as you age. They're rich in ALA, or alpha-linolenic acid, which is a plant-based form of omega-3 fatty acid. Omega-3s play a critical role in keeping brain cells flexible and communication between neurons smooth and efficient. In simpler terms, they help you think clearly, remember better, and stay mentally sharp. But walnuts don't just help with structure, they also offer protection. They're packed with polyphenols, a type of antioxidant that crosses the blood-brain barrier and helps fight inflammation directly inside the brain. This is important because chronic inflammation, even low-grade, is linked to memory loss, brain fog, and cognitive decline over time. One study published in the Journal of Nutrition, Health and Aging found that seniors who included walnuts in their regular diet scored higher on memory and mental processing tests than those who didn't. The results weren't dramatic overnight, but they were consistent. Just a small handful, a few times a week, was enough to make a noticeable difference over time. And the benefits go beyond the brain. Walnuts also contain arginine, an amino acid that helps open up your blood vessels and improve circulation. That means better oxygen delivery to your muscles, improved endurance, and more energy for walking, stretching, or simply staying active throughout the day. Another, lesser-known benefit? Walnuts naturally contain melatonin, the hormone that helps regulate sleep. And we all know how precious quality sleep becomes as we get older. A better night's sleep doesn't just lift your mood. It improves balance, memory, and even immune function. So if you've been feeling foggy, forgetful, or simply not as mentally on as you used to be, adding walnuts to your routine could be one of the easiest and most powerful changes you can make. Have them raw. Toss them into a salad. Stir them into your morning yogurt. However you enjoy them, just a few pieces can help fuel both your body and your mind. Number 4 on our list is a nut you don't see very often in grocery stores. But when it comes to aging well, it's one of the most powerful choices you can make. Brazil nuts. These large, crescent-shaped nuts are incredibly rich in a trace mineral called selenium. And while most people don't give selenium much thought, your body absolutely depends on it, especially as you age. Selenium plays a critical role in thyroid function, which in turn affects your metabolism, energy levels, and how efficiently your body maintains and repairs muscle tissue. If your thyroid is sluggish, you may feel tired, gain weight easily, or notice your muscles weakening even without changing your diet. Just 1 or 2 Brazil nuts a day is enough to meet your body's selenium needs. That's it. It doesn't take much, but the impact can be huge. Studies have shown that seniors with healthy selenium levels tend to have better muscle mass, stronger immune function, and even a lower risk of cognitive decline. That's because selenium is also a powerful antioxidant, helping to protect your cells from the kind of oxidative stress that accelerates aging in your tissues, organs, and brain. Brazil nuts also support testosterone production, not just in men but in women too. And that's important because testosterone isn't just about reproductive health. It's also tied to muscle strength, bone density, and mood stability. As testosterone naturally declines with age, even a slight nutritional boost can make a noticeable difference in how you feel and function. But there is one important thing to keep in mind. With Brazil nuts, more is not better. Because they're so rich in selenium, eating too many can actually be harmful. Just 2 to 3 per day is the sweet spot. Any more, and you could risk selenium overload, which can affect your hair, nails, or even your nervous system. So treat these nuts like a supplement, something small, precise, and powerful. Keep them raw and unsalted, and store them in a cool place to preserve their nutrients. I like to chop mine into yogurt or oatmeal, or just enjoy them as a midday bite. They're creamy, filling, and deliver a serious nutritional upgrade in just a couple of bites. Now, what if there were a nut that could help your heart, your legs, and even your vision, all at once? Up next, we'll introduce the fifth and final nut on our list. And it's more colorful than you might expect. Let's talk about pistachios. They're colorful, fun to eat, and often overlooked in favor of more serious nuts like almonds or walnuts. But don't let their playful appearance fool you. Pistachios are packed with nutrients that can make a real difference in how you feel and function as you age. Let's start with something that matters to every senior: blood pressure. While many salty snacks can drive your pressure up, pistachios actually help bring it down. They're naturally rich in potassium, a mineral that helps relax blood vessels, improve circulation, and balance out the effects of sodium in your diet. That means smoother blood flow, less strain on your heart, and better energy throughout the day. And there's more. Pistachios are one of the only nuts that contain two special compounds called lutein and zeaxanthin. These are antioxidants that concentrate in the eyes and help protect against age-related macular degeneration, a leading cause of vision loss in older adults. And as we know, good vision isn't just about reading labels or watching TV. It helps prevent falls, improves coordination, and supports overall independence. They also provide a steady stream of plant protein and healthy fats, the kind that keeps your energy levels stable without spiking your blood sugar. That's especially helpful if you're managing diabetes, low energy, or weight fluctuations. But here's something most people overlook. The act of eating pistachios itself can be beneficial. Cracking open the shells one by one slows you down. It encourages mindful eating, helps prevent overeating, and even gives your fingers and hands a little movement practice. That small motion supports fine motor skills, hand-eye coordination, and brain engagement, an unexpected bonus that no protein bar can match. One clinical study published in Hypertension found that adults who ate pistachios daily experienced a significant reduction in systolic blood pressure, thanks in large part to their potassium and antioxidant content. That's real, measurable heart support, in a snack that tastes amazing. So whether you enjoy them as an afternoon pick-me-up or sprinkle them onto a salad, pistachios are one of the few nuts that can protect your heart, sharpen your vision, and support graceful aging, all in one shell. And that wraps up our list of 5 powerhouse nuts for seniors. Let's take a moment to pull everything together. We've now gone through 5 nuts to avoid, each one seemingly harmless on the surface, but with hidden effects that can quietly wear down your strength, interfere with medications, or accelerate aging in ways that often go unnoticed, until it's too late. We also explored 5 powerful alternatives, nuts that do more than just fill you up. They support your bones, protect your brain, lower inflammation, and help keep your body moving with ease and confidence, even as the years pass. And that brings us to the bigger takeaway. This video isn't really about nuts, it's about something deeper: awareness. Because aging well doesn't come from doing everything perfectly. It comes from making small, intentional choices that respect how your body is changing. Every handful of food you eat, every snack you reach for, it's either helping your body heal and stay strong or quietly holding it back. And you don't have to change everything overnight. Maybe today you swap peanuts for almonds. Maybe tomorrow you try roasted chestnuts instead of a sugary granola bar. These small changes, they matter more than you think, because they build habits, and habits shape your future. The truth is, your body hasn't given up on you. It's still capable of rebuilding, adapting, and getting stronger, even after 60, even after 70. All it asks for is a little support, and a lot more kindness. Aging isn't about avoiding decline. It's about actively choosing to protect the parts of you that matter most: your mind, your strength, your balance, and your freedom. If this video helped you see your food choices in a new light, take a moment to like, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. Thanks for watching, take care, stay strong, and we'll see you in the next one.